Hello everybody. So this should be the second lesson you're watching. If you took the test yesterday, then you should be watching actually yesterday's lesson, so go do that one instead. But if you have not taken the test yet, then you are on your second lesson and you're doing this right. So yesterday we talked about overtime pay, and today we're going to talk about these three real quick. Your overtime rate is how much you get paid per hour for overtime. And to find that out, you multiply your regular pay times the rate, essentially. So either by 2 or 1.5, depending on what your job pays. So your job may say, okay, we'll pay you double pay. That means that you multiply your regular rate by 2. Or you might get paid 1.5 as much, and then you take your regular pay and multiply it by that. So, and regular pay, I mean your regular hourly pay. All right, when you are an hourly employee, you have to keep track of your hours. So a timesheet is a sheet you turn in weekly, or sometimes it's bi-weekly. That has your hours worked recorded on it. So it should tell you everything that you did. Let me see if I can show you an example. So it would look something like, let's see. Trying to find a good one. Like this. So it'll say like what date it is and how many hours you worked. Now a time card, on the other hand, looks like this, and that is created by a computer. And so a time clock or a time card, you basically punch in and you punch out. It used to be like a physical card that you would stick like in a machine, kind of like this, and it would literally punch your card, and it would say what time you were there. So this one is when essentially your employer trusts you to tell you what time you worked yourself. This is self-reporting, and this is a computer. So this is a computer records when you sign in or out. Okay. All right, so we're going to do a worksheet. Your homework is doing this time card worksheet, and it is problems 1 through 19. And of course, like usual, I'm going to do some with you. So let's start with this table. I'm going to pick, I don't know, I guess this guy, Babo, probably a last name. So it says that we need to complete the table to find the hours worked, and we need to round down to the nearest quarter hour. All right, now I want you really to circle that, round down to the nearest quarter hour. That is very different than you would probably expect. In fact, you'd probably think 4:57, that's almost 5 o'clock. It should be 5 o'clock. But nope, you round down. And that really isn't the same with every business. It depends on the business you're in. And if you're like, what? I worked an extra 12 minutes. I can't believe I wouldn't get paid for my 12 minutes. Well, this one also rounds down to 7:45, which means you got added in 9 minutes here. That's basically, some businesses do this where they round down to the nearest quarter hour. Some round up, but usually it's one or the other so that one side kind of makes up for the other. But also, a lot of companies now just do the exact times, like down to the minute is what you're paid by. Okay, so this person worked from 7:45 to 4:45. So the question is, how many hours is that? Well, obviously you can't just subtract the two because that would give you 3 hours, and we know that that's a lot longer because it's AM to PM. I know it sounds hokey, but it is easy to do on your fingers. So if you start counting, you say, okay, 8 is the first hour, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and after 12 you go to 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 9 hours that this person worked that day. And it goes from 45 to 45, so that one's pretty clear cut. All right, then I'm going to jump down to 16. Rob worked 6 hours on Monday. Okay, I'm going to start recording his thing down here. And I'm going to zoom in so that you guys won't see the problem that I'm reading, but you've got it in front of you anyway. So 6 hours on Monday. And on Tuesday, which I guess is what, 1:13 according to this. We got Wednesday, 1:14, and Thursday, 1:15, and Friday, 1:16. Okay, so Tuesday he worked 5.5 hours. And Wednesday, 4.25 hours. And Thursday, 7.5 hours. And Friday, 4.75 hours. Okay, so first I'm going to just add the whole numbers together to figure it out. So that's 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 7 plus 4, which is what, 15 plus 11, 26. So 26 hours, whole hours right now. I'm going to write on the side. And then we've got half and a half, which makes another whole. And then 3/4 and another 1/4, which makes another whole. So that's 28 hours down here. So up here, I'm going to write that Rob worked 28 hours. And that he is paid $8.75 per hour. And that is times 28, which is $245. Okay, now on the second page, I'm not going to do one of these with you, but I do want to talk about it quick. You have to figure out how many hours they worked. Make sure that on these you're also rounding down. So this is from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. This one is 7:45 to 2:45. So make sure you're rounding down when you're figuring out how many hours for each one, and then you write down how many hours for each day and then subtotal them at the bottom. All right, good luck, guys.